What's going on YouTube? It's your boy ThatSingerReactions coming to y'all. This is part 2 of the top 16 awesomely bad promos, part 2. Wregret. The first one was crazy because there were so many people that I didn't even know was as bad as they was. Seriously, it was just literally the worst ever. But yeah, so we gonna jump into part 2. Don't forget that my Patreon is in the description where you get exclusive access, early content, and special requests. You can do CashApp, you can do PayPal, any of that is cool. My P.O Box is in the description as well, so you can send me whatever you want. So let's jump into this, y'all. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to block this because they almost blocked the last one. Rest in peace to Vader. Wrestling with regret.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. So many awesomely bad promos, so little time.
What I do love about his promos too is he actually breaks them down on how they're bad. Like
this week, I'm counting down my top 8 favorites. What could be worse than Suffering Succotash, Mustaches, or the Genesis of McGillicuddy? Find out right now. Number 8, Sid Vicious. We're live, pal, and half of the brain.
He's so stupid.
Both of these promos are so awesome in their own way. How could I possibly choose between them? First, we go to the pre-show for the first ever WWF In Your House pay-per-view in May of 1990.
Because he kind of almost takes the cake in terms of like the worst. Maybe it's somebody else on this list that's worse. Or clearly, I mean, he's number 8, but he was really bad, man.
Sid's asked a simple question about those who doubt him.
How do you address those skeptics?
Well, the skeptics and all the people have a little bit of... Let me do this again.
Oh, it's live, pal.
Sorry.
To his credit,
He said, you better go ahead and go, because we here, and you can't. Yeah.
Master and ruler of the world recovered quickly and delivered.
But see, that I think that was also back then to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Back then, you can't edit anything and all that stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, then again, on Raw, you really can't either, but I don't know.
A succinct response, even if it temporarily killed the whole psycho vibe he was going for. But things got even more entertaining several years later in WCW in a 1999 episode of Nitro. Kevin Nash is wearing prosthetic makeup and does a pretty good job making fun of Sid in the ring.
Now you might be able to outsmart me and outthink me. And yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, for 2 seconds, that freaked me really out, like real bad.
Probably can't get it complete.
Yeah, his booking was questionable, but you can't say he wasn't funny. But the big man could stand no more as Sid interrupted with a mighty retort.
But you know and I know that you're only half the man that I am.
Huh?
And I have half the brain that you do.
Oh my! You could look at his face and tell he wasn't even confident if he said that right. I understand where you're coming from on that, brother, because sometimes I do the same thing.
Mighty retort.
But you know and I know that you're only half the man that I am.
Huh?
And I have half the brain that you do.
Ooh, man, so close. You were so close. Sid has since claimed that he was only following the script, that it was a line specifically written to make him sound dumb, and he only went through with it because then WCW President Bill Bush asked him to set a good example because of his status as an esteemed member of the locker room. I mean, you could buy that argument because Sid said it with such conviction, so either WCW willingly sabotaged one of their top guys in the company and Sid went along with it, or just admit it, man, you screwed up.
Yeah.
Week after week, you tried to make me look like a jackass.
Sorry, Sid, that job did not need to be outsourced. Number 7, Ahmed Johnson in WWF Warzone.
What he do? Oh my God, Warzone? Oh, that brings back so many memories, the video game memories, man.
The first black Intercontinental Champion in history, Ahmed Johnson always seemed to have marbles in his mouth, but that's when he was at his best. He was more fun to watch when he was intense, but the trade-off was he lost a lot of his enunciation. But nowhere was his unintentional humor more apparent than the 1998 masterpiece, WWF Warzone.
You want to survive WWF Warzone? Stay away from me. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Though the game has aged horribly due in large part to its terrible control scheme, there's a special place in my heart for Warzone.
I agree.
It was the first WWF game I bought after becoming a fan, and I was freaking pumped about it. I read and reread the Nintendo Power article about the game about 200 times over the course of a 2-month period before it finally released. I loved that game. But as luck would have it, I didn't even get the best version of it. See, the PlayStation version made full use of its capabilities with full motion videos and high quality entrance music. The N64 version, which I had no videos of any kind with MIDI level entrance music. One of the most memorable things about this game were the grudge matches in career mode, which were always preceded by a promo from the wrestler, apparently filmed somewhere in a cave.
There's no holding back this thoroughbred, but since you're obviously too stupid to realize that, I guess there ain't nothing wrong with me kicking your teeth in.
But no doubt the crown
He
jewel
was so
of this
reading
part
from
of
a
the game
script when he
comes
said
from
that.
Master of the Pearl River Plunge.
Listen up, punk. That little ass body of yours can't possibly deal with the ass whipping I'm gonna give you.
Ahmed's mushmouth promos combined with terrible acoustics made for some legendary videos. More than a decade ago, YouTuber Phantom Green, aka Sunnybone, compiled the promos and added humorous subtitles, instantly making the promos more fun to watch.
If you want to step up to play G, bring it on. Cause I forgot
Not bacon
to take
on
my
that.
medication in the morning, and I'm in a real bad mood. So go ahead, bring your toys and get a ring. Because there ain't nothing on this earth that's gonna save you from this sad weapon.
More promos would be given the fun with Ahmed treatment over the
What
years,
is
but
wrong
none of
with
it is
him?
hilarious as the original. If you haven't done it yet, juice make sugar and check these promos out. You'll be glad you did.
If you want to play like that, there ain't nothing between us but air and opportunity, boy.
Number 6.
Pause, I ain't gotta worry about that getting copyrighted because they don't even know what he said. That was weird.
Any Ultimate Warrior promo. Now, before any of you Warrior fans get mad, this is
That's
not
scared.
a knock on the man. This is
No,
a
that's
form
a
of
knock,
praise.
brother.
He didn't cut bad promos. He cut awesomely bad promos. Big difference.
This freaking nature right here is just beginning to swell.
The only problem was trying to figure out which one was the most awesomely bad, so I decided to make his whole catalog eligible.
Jeez.
Warrior always spoke with a level of intensity, dedication, and commitment that made crowds hang on his every word.
weird.
The fans will believe in a promo if it looks like the wrestler believes it, and you could tell he truly believed it. Now, as to what exactly it was he believed in, well, that's a little harder to decode.
Shove that control into a nosedive, Hulk Hogan.
And tell me to do what is rightfully right and wrongfully wrong. What are you gonna do? Bury us now? Load the spaceship
Oh
with
my.
the rocket fuel. Load it with the worst.
There's nothing about the Warriors promos I can specifically point to and say, oh, that's the one that goes off the rails, or that's the wildest one. They're all wild. They're all batshit insane, but in their own unique way, like snowflakes. Hogan, Savage, and Piper were all known for their seemingly coke-influenced speeches, but they can't hold a candle to the absolute life-questioning insanity that was...
Pause, man. Some of these wrestlers were just so overrated, man, back then. But I guess you love them because they were back then, but he was actually not super terrible in the ring. He was actually decent in the ring.
Ultimate Warrior.
I only know that the Ultimate Warrior is totally out of control.
We know.
Number 5. The Brood's first promo.
Oh my God.
Also known as The Brood's last promo.
Because the freaks come out at night.
Well, I take that back. It probably wasn't the only time the trio of Gangrel and
Oh
Agent
my
Vicious were
God.
collected.
Pause. Not the freaks come out at night. Why was Edge? Oh my God. Not Edge, bro. Edge is so goldish on the mic now, man.
But after this, it might as well have been. This took place on the very first episode of SmackDown in April of 1999. It was their first time on the microphone ever after having just broken away from the Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness. It starts out bad and gets worse.
The Brood initially has not spoken by our own choice, and then later it was forbidden by The Undertaker.
Now, first of all, I love Gangrel. He is one of the nicest guys I've met in wrestling, but this is just not good. His voice has no strength or confidence behind it. He's rambling about nothing and everything all at once. It's supposed to sound deep and mysterious, but it comes off like one of my more misguided E-Fed promos from back in the day.
We live our collective lifestyles for who we are and what we believe in.
We live our collective lifestyles of who we are and who we believe in. He didn't have no conviction or nothing behind it.
Search.
That's enough out of you, Gangy. Christian, anything you want to add? Great. Future Hall of Famer Edge, can you save this thing?
The power lies within us, and it's up to us to find it, and we will become what we will become.
The promo mercifully ends when Michael Hayes accuses
He
the
is
three
so
of just
scared.
being a gimmick, to which they retaliate with a bloodbath. But it was nothing compared to the bloodbath that many brain cells went through that night. I was pulling for the Brood hardcore in the beginning. I really was. I thought the gimmick was cool and could have been huge. I was crestfallen when they broke up later that year because I feel they didn't reach their full potential. Now, Christian and Edge did pretty well for themselves after the fact, but poor Gangrel was never the same after this segment.
And the power is what we seek, and it's within all of us. And we just have to unleash it.
Number 4, Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Yep. The following is a
Who
video
is this
from a promotion called International Pro Wrestling, but it's not from Japan or the UK. It features a wrestler named Jeff Farmer, who's not the same guy who would become NWO Sting. And in this promo, Jeff tries to sound fired up and passionate, but he is not. But first, just catch the beginning of this promo and tell me if this didn't inspire... promo, Jeff tries to sound fired up and passionate, but he is not. But first, just catch the beginning of this promo and tell me if this didn't inspire a character from a certain regional wrestling company.
Folks, there's Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Jeff, a while back, what a match you had with Motley.
Yep. How do you respond to this blowhard?
Yep.
From that monosyllabic response, you can see the gears creakily turning.
Oh, was that Rusev?
Farmer's
or Miro?
Yep.
From that monosyllabic response, you can see the gears creakily turning in Farmer's head as he tries to come up with his next sentence.
But I don't like it when things aren't going my way. Motley Cruz, you turn the tables on me. You turn the tables in a wrong way.
I mean, how are we going to be able to eat lunch if we're not sitting on the right sides?
But when you turn around and you backstab me one way or another, and you cheat me out of what's rightfully mine, that's...
Oh my God, these are bad, man. They are so bad. They got away with this nonsense.
And you backstab me one way or another, and you cheat me out of what's rightfully mine, that's when I get angry.
You know, I just realized I'm not sure what you guys are fighting for anyway.
Get in the ring with me. This time, I'm going full force.
Pause. He reminded me of somebody that I used to work with named Dave Emerson. The one my boys is watching. They understand what I'm saying. Get it done. Like he sounds just like.
This time, I'm going full force.
I mean, this thing's a classic. From the opening to the cliche verbiage to the nervous pauses, it has everything, and it gets funnier every time I see it. And hey, just for a minute, can we show some love to the guys feuding with here?
Jeff Farmer wanna challenge me. Did you hear him?
I heard it.
Get me excited, man.
Jumpin' Jeff never seemed to go anywhere after IPW, maybe because he had a physique that was somehow smaller than mine when I wrestled. But even if his in-ring exploits never get him recognized, this epic promo always will.
You got me mad now.
Number 3,
you got me
The Undertaker, snake necktie and lizard boots. One of the reasons the Brood's promo from earlier failed so hard was they tried to push this mysterious character, but their tone and body language...
Taker had a couple, bro, that was bad. I prefer Taker when he is just not speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
didn't match what they were saying. At around the same time, one of the reasons The Undertaker's ministry phase is so memorable is because he did commit to the character. But even then, sometimes it's still not enough. Take, for instance, this moment on an episode of Raw before SummerSlam 99. The Undertaker spent the last several weeks training the Big Show to be a ruthless killer. The Unholy Alliance made their way to the ring, and Taker proceeded to take us all on a little journey.
I had Paul Bearer call out to California to some associates of ours at the local 81.
Go on.
Paul said we're gonna need 2 bikes for a ride into the desert. I want the Big Show only to have enough gas to get to the middle of the desert and not get back. The Big Show's bike runs out of gas, and I drove off and left him. He comes walking out with a snake necktie and lizard boots, carrying his Harley Davidson on his shoulder. What used to be known as SummerSlam will now be known as Armageddon, and whoever shows up will be hurt.
Forget anything the Warriors said. This is the most rambling, nonsensical
okay, it really wasn't about his acting. It was really about the lines that he had. It was terrible. It's sort of like Roman Reigns Roman Reigns' acting was just terrible on that, but I don't know.
I've ever heard. For 3 minutes, Taker weaves this story of toughening Show up, leaving him stranded in the middle of the desert in triple-digit heat.
I thought he
Big
was
Show
just
comes
acting
back
bad.
2 days later wearing a snake necktie and lizard boots.
He
the
did
fuck's
not.
this guy going on about? Oh, I almost forgot the best part. Apparently, Big Show told Taker that he would kill him in his sleep, skin him, and then wear his skin and eat his flesh. Well, credit to the Big Show. At least he's resourceful, using the whole body.
I'm gonna cut your flesh off, make a coat out of it, and I will eat your flesh until I find food.
This ridiculous speech was cut off by Chris Jericho, who rightfully called it out for being boring and
stupid. This is where the goat
Can you believe he got heat for saying that? Were they not watching the same promo we all were? Number 2. Scott Steiner math. More than teaming with his brother Rick, more than his singles run in WCW.
Why did I forget about him?
Former world champion.
Why did I forget? This is when Scott Steiner about to do I don't know, he about to add stuff, divide it and multiply it and split it in half and take a fraction of it.
Yeah, this to me is Scott Steiner's greatest career moment.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true.
2 big things stick out in my mind. One, he went to all the trouble to come up with the math for this, only for the scheduled match between he, Samoa Joe, and Kurt Angle to not even happen.
You take your 33 and a third chance, minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
But even better, the math adds up.
But then you take my 75% chance of winning. If we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 and 2/3%, I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice.
Now I wonder, what will be number 1 on this countdown?
I don't know!
The hell? This dude was funny.
That was awesome.
Lex Luger.
In his career, Lex Luger had
he had a whole dramatic moment just to get to number 1. What was that about?
Never been good at promos. He wasn't the absolute shits at them, but when trying to take an objective look at his legacy as a wrestler, his words have never been at the forefront. But it wasn't until the final years of his in-ring days that he would utter the words that would ultimately define him to a generation of fans. A viral sensation well before YouTube.
John Cena had a look.
It's a clip from NWA Cyberspace in 2000 Who Cares. The total package is stopped backstage by their interviewer after what could have been some in-ring scuffle with future opponent Ron Killings.
Mr. Luger, I saw what just happened out there with Ron Killings. I just want to ask you, what are your plans for the next show, Super Brawl Saturday?
Before we go on, can we take a moment to talk about that fucking guy? Why does nobody talk about him? He looks like Steve Corino got fat, then got dressed up after seeing a glimpse of Michael Hayes 15 years in the future.
Oh my God.
Why would a pimp be conducting this interview? What's this character's backstory? Did he go to journalism school? Anyway, Luger starts talking, but it's doomed from the start. He can't make it more than 4 seconds before tripping up.
What kind of disgusting, despicable lack of respect is that Billy What's-His-Name show booking a match for the total package Lex Luger and Super Brawl?
I can infer that this Billy What's-His-Name is the promoter and or the on-air boss. Either way, it makes Luger look super unprofessional to not know the name of the guy who's theoretically paying him.
Super Saturday? What is it? I don't even know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
Or the name of the show.
Weird. He's smacked.
To not know the name of the guy who's theoretically paying.
Look at his face.
Super Saturday? What is it? I don't even know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
Or the name of the show he's being theoretically paid to perform at.
Can he afford to pay me to wrestle around? I don't know.
Dude, if you don't know if you'll be paid, why did you take this booking? You're better than that. This wasn't a fight with Killings you just walked out of. It was a fight with the promoter over getting more money.
I'm one of the biggest legends and stars ever in this. God! And your t-shirts are too tight too, Billy!
This is the point of no return. There's nothing Luger could have said to save face after forgetting to gimmick his t-shirt so he could rip it off clean and look cool doing it. I don't care how big your muscles are, you ain't getting past that crew neck. And after all that, after botch, after unfathomable botch, we wrap it all up with a big crescendo.
Look at me! I'm a total package! I will rip him apart! I'm pissed now!
I don't think I'd...
Every sentence of this promo by itself is a work of art, but when put together in one package, it forms a super group.
It is so bad.
It's the Traveling Wilburys or the audio slave of bad promos, the WrestleMania 17 of lousy backstage interviews. To me, nothing can top this. It's the cherry on top for the career of the total package Lex Luger. It is iconic. It is immortal. It may not be able to pay you. Its t-shirts are too tight too. It's one of the biggest legend stars ever in this, and it's the most awesomely bad wrestling promo of all time. Well, those are my picks, but let me know what promos you think belong on this list in the comments section below. Be sure to thumbs up this video if you like it, subscribe to Wrestling with Wregret, and buy the t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com. I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.
Yo, he funny. He make it funny, too. He be doing, like, some funny stuff, man. I liked that, man. That was super funny, man. There's so many horrible actors back in that day, but it's crazy, man. Thank y'all so much for watching, man. Comment, like, subscribe, follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is in the description. To the next video. I love y'all. Peace.